Hello viewers, we are live on location here in the great city of Tallulah, Louisiana, taping The Voice Speaks Volume. It's more than a talk show, it's a platform. And on the platform today I have with me two wonderful ladies that are here living in the city. I have Ella Jackson and then I have Miss Sabrina Houston. Welcome ladies to the show. It's such a pleasure to have you all here. I guess we'll start to my left. We'll start with Miss Ella. Ella, were you born here in Tallulah?
Actually, I was born
In Monroe.
but I was raised in Tallulah.
Okay. Would you maybe share, I remember some good memories from growing up in Tallulah on Fifth Street, on Craig Street, on West Askew Street, and then over by the fire department on Allen Street. It's just so different now than it was when we were growing up. But do you have, say, a favorite childhood memory, maybe that you remember, some of your girlfriends, going outside? The kids don't go outside too much these days.
But yeah, me and a couple of girlfriends years ago used to always walk around all the way to Buckland and stuff and just go to her place. And
Walk. These kids they don't too much want to get in the car and ride. You walk?
We used to walk all the time. We walked back then. Wouldn't do it too much now, but yes, we used to walk a lot back then. That's probably mostly for a lot of stuff.
Okay, and so have you been in Tallulah, all your life?
No, actually I left Tallulah in 2001.
Okay.
I went to California and stayed here. I just came back to Tallulah actually in January of 2012. So I've been gone from there a long time.
Okay, so what area in California?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, in Pittsburgh. Now, I've heard of Pittsburgh. What is Pittsburgh near? Is it near LA, Oakland?
No, actually, yes, it's near Oakland. It's probably an hour away from Oakland, but it's more closer to Antioch, California, and Concord.
Okay, well, normally when I think about California, I think about, what they show on TV, it's either the Crips or the Bloods. So in Pittsburgh.
You just have a lot of kids that wants to be. So they wants to be thugs and gangsters and
Okay, I see. But living in Pittsburgh, I'm pretty sure it was much different than here in Tallulah. I'm pretty sure more fast-paced.
Not really. It just have more opportunities. Like that, it has more opportunities in Pittsburgh, California than here in Tallulah.
Okay.
So there was some things, with the schools and the jobs and movies and it just has more opportunities.
Okay, I understand. Okay, and also you're the mother of a I'd like to say a special needs son. And how old is he?
22.
Okay.
He's 22. I actually say this, and I believe this with all my heart. I says that because I believe God is delivering him from that. I said I don't call him artistic because he was diagnosed as artistic and mentally. But with everything, I raised him, probably around last year is when I put him in a home. But it's, by the grace of God, that's how I managed to take care of him. It's complicated and it's stressful when you're doing it on your own.
I can only imagine.
And that's the thing, because artistic people are very dependent on, some of it can be very severely, but he doesn't. They have, I like to say it like this, it's like living in a foreign country. Being there, you're the only one, everybody speaks the same language, you don't. So if you have a need or anything, it's more like you can't really say what it is, because nobody understands what you're saying. So you get frustrated and they become very frustrated and stuff. A lot of them are very intelligent, but so much goes in their head and they can't express it. So they become very violent and very frustrated.
And I'm pretty sure dealing with them, you have to have that extra ounce of patience. Because how we can be, we get agitated and frustrated. So I can only imagine, maybe, him wanting to say so much, and it's just not coming out. Yes, I understand that, but that's a good thing, and I like what you're saying is that, he's being healed. you know, and he's being delivered, and that's a good thing. And I believe just, you know, with us, Sabrina, you know, we had to learn how to do certain things,
Right.
and because we wanted to. So I believe even with them, though they're limited, but still, if they're willing to try to adapt, you know, to living in you know, in the real world, and I think we should have that patience. So that's good that there are, you know, places where he can go and get that, you know, that special TLC, and then it kind of, you know, gives you a little leverage where you can, you know, be normal, because like you say, you know, that's not the only son, you know, you had, you know, other kids as well. And that brings me to, now, you had a son that lost his life out in California. Would you mind to share with us?
Okay, Marcus, I'll say that he grew up, he was, I forgot how old he was when we left here, but just became very rebellious at that time. And that's basically not having a father figure, a real father figure in his life. So I had 3 boys, and I raised all of them myself. So then when you start getting around different people and they have all these, they have bad influence on you, you start being a little bit more, you act out more. So it's getting in and out of trouble and everything. And I say that on the 4th of July, he came to my house because he wasn't staying with me any longer, because if you can't abide by my rules, you don't need to be in my house.
I understand that.
So he was 20 at the time. And he came to the house on the 4th of July with me. I don't like going anywhere on holidays because too many people act out. So he asked me where I'd take him home, so I took him to where he was living. And I never forget this because I always say God is so amazing how he does things. And when I was driving off, I got out of the car, I was driving off, and the Spirit told me, you know, back up and let him know nothing. Look at him tell you nothing. And I did it, and at the time, you don't understand what's going on, what's getting ready to happen. So I loved him, and I said, I love you. He said, he got in the car, went home. The next day, he came over to my place, and my son, Casey, at the time, was going to a special school called Spectrum, and it was for people with his behavioral issues. So he was basically kind of taking his money because they didn't have a cafeteria. But anyway, it was kind of upsetting me, but you know, I kind of like got on him about that, and he was getting ready to leave, so before we can leave good, the Spirit told me again to hug him and hug nothing. So I did it. And the next night, the police came knocking at my door, and they didn't tell me right away what happened. They just asked me a lot of questions, because before even that happened, he was actually got shot at by someone. So it was already things happening. So they asked me a lot of questions about it. I didn't know what was going on because he was here and I'm here. And they finally told me that between 8 o'clock and 8:30 he was shot. And they say he was in the hospital that they heard of him. So I called the hospital because I didn't really know what he was really at. They said he had a shelter, but I wasn't for sure because they wasn't for sure. So about that time, when I called, and you know, you holding back tears because
I can only imagine.
So when I did, when they finally left out, I just broke down, but I had to call the hospital, and they explained to me what happened and what it was. He was found on the trail where he was shot, and he was actually found by a homeless person that was sleeping on the trail. So they, the homeless person, whoever he was, I don't know who he is to this day. But when
this is in California.
Yes. He actually heard it, but because people are still popping firecrackers at the time,
He wasn't sure.
like a shooter. So he was asleep. So when he woke up, he saw him laying there. So he just assumed that he was asleep also. So he rolled back over and went back to sleep. When he woke back up, he saw him still laying there. He realized something was wrong. So he went up to him and he realized that he was hurting. He ran across the street to McDonald's to call for help. So when the ambulance got there, they assumed that he was actually hit in the back of the head with a blunt object. When they took him to the hospital, they took a CAT scan. They didn't realize he was shot. So they took the CAT scan and realized he had a bullet in his brain. So they took him to John Muir Hospital at Walnut Creek, and he was in trauma center. And when I finally was able to get there, the doctor came in and he explained to me that he was on actual life support. So that he was shot back here, and it traveled here, and he said the bullet slipped in his brain. So it was kind of hard to look at your child laying there, absolutely vulnerable, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you sit there basically like you wishing, you hoping you could just, if only you could take half the pain away. But you're absolutely helpless, you can't do anything. And you're constantly asking God to, to make it better, to help him do it or whatever. But at the same time, I had to say, Lord, that your will be done. And it's not about me. But I couldn't stay there long, so I had to leave. Because I actually could not stay that long because it was hurting too much. And about the next day, I was going back but I had to wait till my son's bus come and pick him up because I didn't understand what was going on because nobody was arrested. They didn't say what happened, really basically who did this or anything. So I wasn't aware of it. So when I went back, I had a friend go with me over there, and he's still on life support. So the doctor explained to me that he ran one test on him already because they have to see who's their brains. So he said that the first test, he didn't respond. So he explained to me that they're going to take a test on him where they inject ice in his ear. And he explained that once you inject ice in someone's ear, they vomit violently. So we had to go in the conference room until he finished running the test. And when he came back, he told me, that he came in and said that, I'm sorry that your son didn't respond to the test, but his brain he's deceased. So it's kind of hard hearing it. I say, and I look at things, God is still very amazing to me because at the same time, God was still doing things.
And how old was he?
He was 20. He was 20 years old. So, when I was going to my car, I finally got it together. I was finally able to get it together. Tell anybody the Spirit spoke to me and told me don't get his organs. So, even though through his death, 6 people's lives were saved. That's God.
Like you said, sometimes we never understand.
Right.
And I believe even when we, stand before God and we have these questions, we still won't, understand. But, we just have to learn to accept His will. Now, have you gotten closure? I mean,
You know what? I don't think you never.
I'm saying to, has anybody, come forth and, so that's that part. I know as far as closure to what happened, I know you never be able to. So let me ask you this, that looking at camera, and there's other mothers that's out there all over this world, and some of them have just gotten that news that, their son has been murdered. And some of them may not be as strong as you are, because not everybody have that solid Jesus foundation, you know what I'm saying? So what encouragement can you give? What helped you get through it, Ella?
What helped me get through it was God. That's what helped me get through it. That's the only thing that helped me get through it was God, was my relationship with God. And I grieved Him, I did. And I know that God doesn't want us grieving. He wants us to mourn, not to grieve, but I grieved Him. And what happens when you tend to grieve someone, you tend to get out of character. So I won't lie and act like I didn't do anything wrong. I drank a lot at times. I did. It didn't help anything. It didn't make it no better. It didn't make the pain better or anything. But the more closer I had with my relationship with Christ, it tends to just ease the pain more. And I'll tell anybody, I have the hugest heart, the hugest bruise in my heart. But yet, it's for somebody else, The weapon was formed true, but it didn't prosper. It didn't do what it was sent out to do for them, It probably was supposed to just destroy me and stuff with all the drinking and this and that. But the more I got closer and closer to Christ, the more He helps me to deal with that pain. So it gets easier. I think about it every day. It's not a day to go by that I don't, but it's not as hard on me than it was in the skin.
You're able to cope with it.
Exactly.
And you never get over it. Now, have you had any interaction with the individuals who maybe received his organs? I know sometimes I've heard other people say, well, they came in contact with, they received this liver or, whatever have you.
You know what? I had Ellen Murphy. He's in a group called Indubious. He had, he needed 2 lungs actually, a double lung transplant. And he contacted me, he reached out to me. So you have to go through the organ transplant network for that. But he got in contact with me long before I left California. I think it was sometime in November. But he wanted me to know that if it would have been for you and your son, I would have died. Because he was born with a rare disease that affected his lungs. So he was really, like he told me, he couldn't hardly go across a room without having a breathing problem, because he had breathing problems all his life. So that was a blessing, even though it was a comfort, but it didn't take the pain away. A lot of people think just because someone has your child's organ or something like that means they're alive, and he's not. His organs were still alive, and his organs would help someone else to live, giving them a second chance like he's God. And it was a little girl, Charlotte. She was 8 months at that time. She received half of his liver, because a lot of people don't know your liver it can be divided, so it's the oldest organ that can be regenerated. But she had a rare liver disease, and she was just her fantasy. She was just like sticks and bones. But it helped her. She's alive right now today because of Maria. She got her name's she got in contact with me maybe a couple of years afterwards, and she had the other part of his liver, and the way she was saying, she was close to death, and she told me that she was ready to die. Her family was even waiting for her to die, but she explained to me her pain was excruciating, and she said she believed very much in God. She said, I looked up and I told God I was ready. And she said that about a good 15 minutes later, the doctors came in and said they found a perfect liver. But she said that, she made a comment that she believed he was sucked from God from heaven. And the reason she said it because everything that God does is perfect.
He makes no mistakes, even though sometimes we don't understand. I tell you, that's a powerful testimony, and we thank you for having the strength, because I know it takes strength. Like you say, that's something that you would never get over. But you learn to deal with it. And just like you said, those other mothers and fathers that are out there, and we hear, so much notoriety, concerning Trayvon and, some of those other ones. But what the Voice Speaks Volume does, we highlight individuals such as yourself. You're an unheard voice. Before today, nobody really heard of Ella Jackson and your situation with your son. But see, after today, and this show is aired, then other mothers in other areas who, son, died and, nothing was ever done about it, then, it can maybe just kind of help soothe them to know that, I'm not the only one. So we thank you for sharing, and we pray that God continue to use you and bless you as He is doing. Amen. We are yet live here in the big city of Tallulah, Louisiana at the TA truck stop. Where you want good food, good fellowship, this is the place. And we have one of the cooks in the audience. We will interview him later on in the show. But right now, on the Voice Speaks Volume, to my right, we have my homegirl, my classmate from the McCall High School class of 1982, none other than Miss Sabrina Houston. Welcome to the platform.
Thanks for the invite.
And I want to say that, our condolences, goes out to you and your family. I know just a couple of days ago, your father, transitioned home to glory. Then I know you were sharing with me that you're the caretakers for both, your parents. Now tell me, how did you just make that decision?
Well, I tell you, when I was 7 years old, it's like God spoke to me and told me, you're going to take care of your parents. Now, mind you, my mom had 9 children. She had 6 boys and 3 girls. But we were living out in Afton, Louisiana, not far, little outskirts of Tallulah. I had moved in from California. And I just told my dad and mom one day, I said, I'm gonna take care of you guys. And she just looked at me and she said, where did that come from? And that's how I'm remembering it now. You know, it's been a long time ago. But I said, I don't know. I just know you guys have been there for us, you know. And we were in a little small house in the country. There was a lot of us, you know. And I was just amazed at how my mom could take care of everything. She was like my hero. And so that's what I told them then. And then as I got older, that happened, you know, in my teenage years, I would remind them. I would remind them again as I got grown, you know. And so having been, you know, I promised God, I promised my parents and myself that I would do that. And you don't promise God anything, make a vow, and you take it back. So I've always stuck to that. And I've always been, and it was just a blessing to me to be able to be there with my parents. And then my friends and all their parents had transitioned on. So I figured that's a big blessing. I still got both my mom and dad, which was unusual. My dad would have been 87, July 16. My mom made 78. And they reversed their numbers there on May 21st. So I've always been there for me. My mom says sometimes, you know, you were my guardian angel. She loves us all the same.
Are you the baby of the family?
No, actually, I'm the 7th child. That number 7 keeps popping up in my life. You know, that's in the Bible. Something important about that number. I was the 7th child. You know, it's 2 under me. And so I've just always been there for me. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed being there for my mom. She worked with me. My dad, we had a very close bond. You know, he always told me he never got an education. My mom had a 7th grade education. He had maybe 4th grade, you know, in a little white schoolhouse back in the day.
And so now, were they born in Louisiana as well?
No, my mom in Arkansas, my dad was born in Natchez, in Churchill, Mississippi, but I was born in Los Angeles, California, moved him at the age of 7.
So you got that properness?
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Properness, is that a word? It is today.
You know, they used to call me the country baby, you know, California, so I've earned my right to be a Southern gal, and I've been here long enough for that. So yeah, just being a caregiver for them, you know, it's been amazing. I've learned a lot. Actually, they call me a little nurse now because I was doing things I never imagined. But I realized when God gives you something to do, and knowing He knew back then I was going to be the one to wait for them. And then I was never CNA or nurse or anything, but He showed me. I prayed, I talked to Him like I'm talking to you, and He showed me step by step how to work, because my mom had several strokes, and then she had a surgery I had to work with, you know, and I just prayed about it. He just walked me through it, let it guide me, you know. So yeah, it's been challenging, you know, but in this position you have to be very patient, you have to be compassionate. And you gotta make a difference in a person's life, you know. That's what it's all about to me.
And I believe, I was just thinking this morning, I would say that, you know, I believe that the level of greatness is not determined about how great you become, but by how great you help somebody else.
That's right, yeah.
You know, so that's all I want to do, you know, is just help somebody else, you know, present a platform, you know, for somebody else.
Right.
You know, so now, and I think you were telling me your mom and dad have been married how many years?
45 years, but they were together maybe 55.
That's exactly
45 years.
You don't see that too often. So
yeah. Wasn't always peaches and cream.
I understand, but that's the good thing about it. That's the good thing about it. If anybody tell you, you know, oh, it's been perfect from day one, Birdman, I don't know, I have to check them, you know what I'm saying? You know, but that is a blessing. And so, and you all are going to be funeralizing your father?
Saturday the 11th, at 11 o'clock at East Star Missionary Baptist Church here in Tallulah.
Okay, and then also, even in the midst of all that, you birthed your book. Okay, Poetic Eyes. Okay, yes. Share with us the concept or what motivated you to write that book.
Again, definitely my mom. My mom has always been, actually Poetic Eyes 1 and 2 are basically the same, you know, just an extension of the first one. And it was inspired by my mother, because she's always been, like I say, strong. She's been a strong woman. She still is a strong woman, even though she's in a wheelchair. She's always been loving and kind and compassionate and, you know, honest. And she always said, let your word be your bond. You know, whatever you say, stand by it. And so, but having 9 children, she was always giving great advice, of course.
I can't imagine.
But she also yelled a lot.
Did she?
Yeah, and you remember back in the day, but no matter what she said, it was always coming out in rhyme form, you know.
Really?
So, you know, back in the day, everybody can kind of remember when we had to be in the house when that post light came on. Remember, that's how we got to get in that house. And if we didn't get in that post light time, we'd get in trouble. So, for example, if I can remember, I'm going to throw in something here, where my mom would say something like, all right, it's almost night. You better beat that post. Like something, it'll come out rhyming, and she didn't intend for it. And I remember saying, my mom's a poet and don't even know it. And then I said, oh, I might be a poet because I just rhymed something right here, you know. So, and that's where that come from, you know. And then, you know, I wanted to just share as I got older and started writing more, I wanted to share. It was more modest. Like I wanted to just give family and friends, you know, books for holidays, birthdays, you know, and things like that, just because and I was just gonna share my heart with everybody, and that's how it all started out, you know.
What do you mind today sharing with us in the audience? Maybe one of your favorites, maybe it's just one that's just so dear to your heart. I know you got many in here, you know, but maybe there's one.
I get that question asked a lot, but I like them all, and I can't recite either of my
But
poems.
don't feel bad, I can't either. I can't even
And that
recite
was the first one I wrote when I was 13. It was, the title was Valentine.
Okay.
And it was like a one stanza. Now all my other poems are like, it could be 8 stanzas, like it's like a mini story. I'm actually, there's a moral to the end of each poem. And so I'm telling somebody something in these poems, and I'm letting them know that I've been through something, I've observed some things, and, you know, and I've got a vivid imagination, of course, because and this book is like a mixed genre. I talk about God and how good He's been, and more importantly, things like the 9/11 bombing, the tsunami, and family, friends, relationships, you know, and things like that. And so I just like to share with everybody on that. That's all.
Okay, and then what is it? The other book?
Now this one is the Poetic Guides too. With that, now I also did a children's book.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
Precious
I didn't
Princess.
know that you did a children's book.
Yeah, Precious Princess, the best dog in the world to me. That was my family pet for 10.5 years.
Okay.
And somebody, yeah, but he's in public, she's in
It wasn't
public
Dee Dee,
health now.
was it? You know, I know he was.
All right,
I'm
check
sure,
Dee Dee.
sure, you might
But
know
somebody
that.
shot a little puppy with a
Yeah.
BB gun and it bled out. Like I was
That Dee Dee Klein, you know,
Yeah.
about that.
And I cried for many months and all, but it just, she never ceased to amaze us. So this is actually a true story about my little puppy, and I tell about little funny things she did to make us laugh, and that's about it.
Okay. So now are you going to share a few lines? You know?
I tell you one poem that touched me, because a lady came to me, like, when you're doing portrait art, there's not a lot of money involved, and that's not what I was going for. I was going to touch folks' heart and everything, and that's rewarding and all. So this one lady saw me in the store, and she came to me and she said, I purchased your book. She said that one poem stood out to me. It was, the title of it was, let me think now. I Deserve Better. And that's from man or woman. You deserve better than to be verbally abused, physically abused, or done any kind of wrong way, because we have more value and worth than that. And so she said she was being mistreated by her husband. He told her she was lower than this and that. It was just horrible things. And she started crying to me. Therefore, I'm standing in the store crying too, like, you know, we're just one in the store. And she said that poem touched her, and because it says to the point where you don't need to be beat, you don't need to be abused, and verbally or whatever, and you know, get away from that, because you, and it just tells about that. And so she said that poem made her step away from him. She actually left him, and she prayed, and I told her, so you're gonna pray for somebody, you know. I don't have a husband, never had one. But so, and that's why I like try to get a lot of advice on that, because I don't know how it is. But I told her, I know that I'm not gonna settle for less than what I deserve. And I deserve better than somebody disrespecting me and all. So I said, what you gotta do, you gotta get out of that relationship. You gotta pray to God and ask Him to send you a God-fearing man. You don't just ask for a man, because you might get anything.
You gotta be specific.
You gotta clarify things to God, and He'll give you what you want if you believe in what you're asking for. And so He actually sent, she got out of the relationship. I said, I tell you what, don't you tell me you read my poem and get me in trouble. So I saw her again the next time. She told me she prayed to God. She got a new man in her life, and she was just as happy as she could be. And so those poems are all of them are very, touching to my heart, because they touch somebody. I had other people tell me. Yeah, that makes a difference,
Yeah, that's the
when
difference.
you touch somebody else, and help somebody else.
Well, here you have it. You can get it in hardcover. You can get it in soft cover, and then also you got children's book, Poetic Eyes, Heartfelt Language Through the Windows of My Eyes by Sabrina Linnell Houston. And where can they purchase your book?
You can log on to www.authorhouse.com. That's AUTHORHOUSE, authorhouse.com, or you can call. I have an 800 number. We start with it. An 800 number is 1-800-839-8640. That's with Author House. And it's on all the major retail bookstores like Amazon, Libris, Border, Barnes & Noble, I think they're still open. Walmart even had them. And if you want a direct book from me, get a direct sales, you can contact me at 318-341-3582 and for an autographed copy.
And the purchase price is
$10 for the children's book, $15 for soft cover, and $20 for hardcover.
not just a good read, but a must read. There you have it, live on The Voice Speaks Volume.